Hello, so in this video I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about cutting. What is a cut, how to cut, common mistakes and tips. What is a cut? A cut is a diet where you are in a deficit of calories. What is a deficit? A deficit is where you are at a negative energy balance, you burn more calories than you ingest, thus your body has to adapt and will use stored energy. It will be a combination of muscle and fat. Why should I cut? To become healthier, to become better looking. Sorry, my eyes are fucked. Revealing your bone structure and muscle mass, of course, to a certain point. So you can get very lean and you are going to look good, but at some point, if you get bodybuilder lean, your face is not going to look better, it's going to look more scarier, more uglier. If you are a woman, it's not really good to be at 4% body fat, not 4%, but whatever the ratio is at for a woman, because a woman carries more body fat than a man. How to do it? Step 0 is knowing your maintenance and doing 10,000 steps every single day. Training, eating enough protein so you don't lose muscle. Enough carbs so your training performance, recovery, energy, and sleep don't go to shit. That is 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of protein, and that means 1.54 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram, and 0.3 grams per pound of fat, which means 0.66 grams of fat per kilogram. Fill the rest with carbs. You can eat more fat, you can eat more protein, but I would like to hit the minimum requirements of protein and fats and then add carbohydrates because I enjoy foods that have carbs more than fats and proteins, and I'm going to have a better training performance and energy overall. So that's why I prefer eating a high carb diet. A good amount of weight loss per week is between 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight. If you make a very small deficit, 0.5 or less per week, the fat loss is slower, of course it's slower, but the diet is going to be easier because you're not going to feel very hungry. If you make a large deficit or a larger deficit, yeah, it's larger, 1% or more per week, the fat loss is way faster, but the diet itself is harder. And most people, I don't think, struggle with losing fat. I think they struggle to maintain their leanness because after they lose a lot of weight, they are very hungry, they have a lot of problems, so they end up eating a lot, getting fat, and they just give up. Your deficit is good if these are 4 performance metrics, and this is how you should quantify if your cut is going well, bad, or whatever. Your training performance improves or remain the same. Compound movements will suffer from loss of leverages, but isolation movements should grow or remain the same. If, for example, you train, you do 200 pounds or 220 pounds or 100 kilograms on bench press for 5 reps, in time when you lose enough weight, you are going to lose strength because you lose leverages. And because you have less carbs and because of diet fatigue, your strength is going to go down. But if it goes significantly down, depending on how much body weight you use, of course, it could mean muscle loss. If your isolation movements stay the same, you didn't really lose muscle, but the only thing that you can do to see if you lost muscle or not besides pictures and seeing yourself is how much strength have you retained on a certain exercise. Of course, if you are depleted, if you are more fatigued, if you didn't eat, if you're not hydrated, all of those things, or if you have like a very stressful day or week, all of those things can impact your performance in the gym. But if you started at 100 kilos and you end up at 60 kilos, most likely you lost some muscle mass. Again, if you lose just 10 kilograms or 22 pounds, if you lose a very big amount of weight, like 30, 40, 50 kilos, of course you are going to lose a lot of fat. And of course you are going to lose not a lot of fat, a lot of strength, because you lose a lot of leverages. Your sleep is not affected. So I never had a problem where my sleep got affected during a cut, because I haven't done a cut more than 14 or 15 weeks from what I can remember. Most of my cuts were 12 weeks. If your sleep is affected, you can eat a majority of your calories before you sleep, so you can try to bandage the wound. But if your sleep is bad and you don't take caffeine, or you just minimize that, and you've done everything that is possible, like add carbs before you sleep, and eat a lot of food so you can go not stressed before you sleep, and of course don't do cardio, like intense cardio before you sleep, because it's going to elevate your heart rate, not because of heart rate but because of cortisol. I've done that. I've done, I think, 100 minutes of 5.5 kilometers on a treadmill, and I fell asleep, but I wake up after 5 or 6 hours, and I wasn't really rested because I was very stressed. Your hunger is manageable. If your hunger is manageable, you are on a diet and you see some ice cream or chocolate or whatever food you enjoy, and you're like, it's okay, I'm on a diet, I don't eat it. If you react like that, that's okay. That means your hunger is manageable. When you are at a point where you see in movies people eating pizza and talking for 15 minutes, and you're like, eat the goddamn fucking pizza. What are you doing? You have very high diet fatigue. Your hunger is not really manageable. Your energy levels are okay, so you feel normal. Like at some point, if you eat very low calories and you do a lot of cardio, when you go in bed, you don't want to move a finger. Just taking your cell phone up, it requires mental energy to do it. Right now, even I'm on a diet because I just started. I can move around. I'm okay. But when you go deep into a diet for months and months and so on, you are going to have this restriction of energy. Cut an amount of calories that is in accordance with your goal. I know this is very formal, but I will explain to you like step by step, and I'll give you an example as well. Have a minimum weight loss target per week. When that number is not hit, increase step count or decrease calories. Example of a guy having a goal of losing 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. His maintenance is 3,000 calories with 10,000 steps. It's a similar situation like me. So let's say this guy is 200 pounds, and now he's eating not 200. Fuck me, I forget this. 2,000 calories, sorry. I forgot to say 2,000. 2,000 calories. And 10,000 steps, of course. And he loses 2 pounds per week. His goal is 1.5 to 2 pounds. He's losing 2 pounds. That's great. But week 6, he lost only 1.5 pounds, which is okay, but he's starting to go to that threshold. He has to do something. So he continues to end. Okay, 1 second, sorry. Week 8, he lost only 1 pound. So his goal is not reached. He has to increase calories. He has to, increase step count or decrease calories, because his goal is not reached, because his goal was 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. Now he's going to increase his deficit. 1 pound is not like calorie per calorie, but like 95%. 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories, or 1 kilogram of fat is 7,700 calories. And if he wants to add another pound of fat loss per week, he has to add every single day 500 calories of deficit, or 3,500 per week. So he continues to lose 2 pounds. Here is like a very simple thing, like an example. So for this week's, he lost 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, eating 2,000 calories with 10,000 steps. Now, he started losing a little bit slower. But now he lost just 1 pound. So week 8 through week 9, he does something. He decreases his calories more. And he continues to lose the weight he wants. And after 12 weeks, he lost, I don't know how much, I did like 22 pounds. Yeah, after 12 weeks, he lost 22 pounds of body fat, preferably. Maybe some water, maybe some this, maybe some that, 22 pounds. If he trained right, if he ate enough, if he slept, most of it was fat or all of it was fat. You can add more steps to it. You can add more steps to eat more, because at some point you can do 2000 steps and just eat 2 pieces of chicken breast, but because you can't eat, you don't have the vitamins necessary to actually be healthy, and when you are not healthy, 1,000 things happen, and you don't have enough carbs to fuel your training performance, so your training is going to suffer. I estimate that 180-pound man doing 1,000 steps equals 37.33 calories. Now this is just the estimation. This is the number that I go do your own research and see how many calories do you burn per 1,000 steps, and experiment and see how your weight moves. Basically, you can see this thing, you can read it for yourself. It's very straightforward, but for me, I would rather do 10,000 to 15,000 steps every single day if I don't have a home treadmill, because the last one got went shit. It's basically not broken and I had to return it because it's low quality. But you can't really outpace doing more cardio when you have a bad diet, because if you eat half a chocolate, you need to do like 7,000, 8,000 steps, which is roughly 70, 80 minutes of normal walking, or walking pretty fast, which is uncomfortable because you can eat a chocolate in half a minute, like half a chocolate in half a minute, and it's not worth it. But of course, if you want to get very lean, if you are going in a contest, or you actually really prefer to do more steps and eat a little bit more, or you have a job where you do a lot of steps anyway, so you rather eat a little bit more, you can do that. After you finish your diet, after you finish your cut, don't stay there. Get away from the fire and go into a reverse diet after you finish your cut. After you are at maintenance calories for 2/3 of the time of your cut, so if you cut for 12 weeks, that is 3 months, almost 3 months, you maintain your weight for 8 weeks or 2 months. So after you, for example, if you cut like that guy, and you from 200 pounds you are 178 pounds, you go into a reverse diet. I have a video on how to do a reverse diet, so you can check it out. And after you hit your maintenance calories and you maintain your weight for 4 weeks, then it's like the timer starts. So you have been like, when you maintain your weight for a month, you can count that as a month, not when you reverse diet. But because when you are going to be in a reverse diet, you are going to reduce the deficit slowly. Of course, in less than probably 8 weeks or 6 weeks, you should arrive at your maintenance. To go back to square one on training performance, sleep, hunger, cravings, energy, and libido. Time periods. So 4 weeks, it's a mini cut. You can do an aggressive mini cut. You can do 1, 1.5, even 2, even higher, but you can do it at your own risk. Percent per week loss. So if you are 100 kilos, you can lose 1.5 to 2 kilos per week, which is very aggressive, like 2 kilos per week, but you can do it for 4 weeks, and you can go. After 4 weeks, you don't really need a reverse diet. You just go into your maintenance, or if your old maintenance was 3,000 calories, you can eat 2,800, or you can experiment yourself. But if you do more than 8 weeks, you should go into a reverse diet, or at least this is what I will do. And a 8-week diet I will not do. I will just I have a lot of fat to lose, so I'm going to do a proper cut then of 12 weeks. 8 weeks is a normal cut. 12 weeks, it's a good cut. You are going to see a lot of progress. 16 weeks plus, it's a hard cut if you lose 1 to 1.5% of your body weight per week. The longer, bigger the deficit, the harder it will be to maintain training performance, sleep, energy levels, hunger, cravings, and the harder it will be to recover. A successful diet should look something like this. This is, even if you are a kid, You don't have to understand very good English. This is the simplest thing that you can check if your diet is good. You enter a deficit. You achieve your goal or stop when performance metrics get very bad. You have 4 performance metrics: training, sleep, uh, one second, training, sleep, energy, and hunger and cravings, or whatever. You can say libido, but let's put it like this: training, performance. If you don't have training performance, you are going to lose muscle. Sleep. If you don't have sleep, you are going to be unhealthy and you are going to lose muscle, or at least more muscle and less fat. Sleep and hunger, the bigger you have them, the the bigger the likelihood of you binging, of you just going nuts on your diet. Energy and libido are going to go down anyway, but energy is going to stay okay. I don't actually find that energy and libido are going to be like the main problems in a cut, because okay, I have low energy, I have low libido, but what will make you binge will be hunger, cravings, and what will make you lose your health and lose more muscle and things like that are training performance and sleep. So training performance, sleep, and hunger slash cravings. If one of them goes bad, for example, your hunger and cravings go a little bit more, like there are more, you want to eat more, you want to do, but you still are on a diet, but your training performance and sleep are okay, you can continue the cut. When your training performance gets a hit, you should take care. If your training performance and sleep and hunger gets a hit, you should add some refeed day. That means eating under maintenance for a few days. But that's just bandaging a hand that will just fall out. So you can extend your cut by a week or a week or two, but you should be very careful when your training performance and sleep take a hit. You can slow your diet. You can add calories. You are still in a deficit, but you are adding a little bit of calories. But it's not going to, again, it's not going to restore your full hunger and cravings, but at least it's going to hopefully resolve your sleep and training performance. Okay, so where I remain. So when performance metrics get very bad, you go into a reverse diet, hit maintenance. Of course, after you achieve your goal, you go into a reverse diet and you are at maintenance. Stay there. Performance metrics come back, and you are happy. Now, for most of you who are going to do 1%, 1.5% cut, like this example right here, like this guy, you're not going to have a very big training performance issue or none at all. Sleep is going to be good. Energy is going to follow a little bit. Libido is going to follow a little bit. Maybe hunger and cravings are going to be a little bit up, but they're not going to be up to the point of you want to eat like everything for a year straight. So the only thing that you are going to experience is more hunger, more cravings after a 12-week cut. If you lose, for example, 10 or 12 kilos, depending if you are between 70 kilos and 100 kilos, 12 kilos of body fat, 10 to 12 kilos, it's a good fat loss diet, in my opinion, result. Common mistakes. Going too hard too quickly. Now, if you know what you are doing, you can go harder at the start, and then you can add food at the end of the diet, so you are closer to maintenance at the end of the diet. But one of the people that I coach, and is my friend, he went very hard, he had a lot of progress, but because of that, he could not handle the cravings and hunger, and he didn't listen to me, so he got fat. Not fat to the point where he was before, but he put a decent amount of body fat, which again is his problem, because he didn't listen to me, and he didn't like, it's not that he didn't want my help, but he didn't listen to me. We could, because right now you have so many options. If you really want to maintain your leanness, and you did some of this, and you're like, I don't care what I do, I just want to maintain my leanness, I don't want to get fat, of course you have to be disciplined, but you can use some GLPs to help you. You can use Reta, you can use Ozempic, Tirzepatide, whatever you choose. Doing too much cardio, then having no energy to move and burning out. Again, I'll give you an example so you can learn, because I can just say, talk in general and say things in general, and you're not going to understand anything. Because he wanted to eat a little bit more, because I told him that, he did one day for a few days 40,000 steps on a treadmill, which is insane from 10,000 steps. And the next day he didn't want to do anything. And fast forward 3 weeks, he binges and he vomits because he eats too much. So you should not do a lot of cardio. Like, I'm going to run to lose weight. No, if you're going to run, it's very fatiguing. The best cardio that you can do is literally walking because it's low. It's a low stress thing. Doing 10,000 steps a day, it's very easy, and you feel good. Doing 12 to 15,000, it's okay, but you have to program it sometimes. 20,000, if you have a home treadmill and you walk and you watch movies, that's okay. But again, do it at your own risk and experiment, because I felt okay at 20,000 steps a day. You may not. Not eating whole foods or whole food leading to many deficiencies and less satiety. Now, it's going to be very hard to lead to very big deficiencies, so you can actually uh, make your health bad. But it's good to eat, for example, liver, because it has a lot of micronutrients per 100 grams, lean meats, fruits, vegetables, and so on. You can have a diet where you eat meat and chocolate, but it's going to be not that like, you're not going to have the satiety that you get from, for example, potatoes or fruits and legumes in general, and you are going to have no vitamins and minerals, so you are going to lead into deficiencies. And for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you are going to be fine, but you are going to become an old man or an old woman with a lot of health problems, and you wonder why you have health problems. If you want to age beautiful and slow, and you want to age like at 60 or 70, you want to be able to move and you want to be healthy and you don't want to have any problems, you should eat the whole time fruits, legumes, whole foods in general. Of course, there is a time where you just like have your binge diet or whatever, and you eat just chocolate and meat. We are all going to go through that someday. It's okay, but you don't have to maintain that for the rest of your life. You should get into the habit of eating decently clean. You can eat tasty food. You can do it because, and it's not that because I did it, but you can do it. But at some point, if I can have my own house and if I can have my own place and cook, I will rather eat clean food than junk food, because I eat a chocolate or two or three and I eat a lot of calories. I want to eat more. It's harder to stay lean. I don't have that many vitamins and I don't feel that great after I eat a lot of sugar from junk food or a lot of greasy food like McDonald's, KFC, and whatever. If I eat, for example, yogurt with some sweetener, is like very, very, very good at taste. 320 calories. I love that. If you eat like bananas, if you eat strawberries, I understand maybe some fruits are not very expensive, but a little bit pricey. Bananas are decently cheap. Apple are decently cheap. Uh, Pineapples are okay. Tomatoes, I don't know the price of. They're okay. They are still considered a fruit, which they have very low calories. They're okay in taste. I would rather literally have like oats with some protein powder, with a banana, with some sweetener, with some, I don't know, like protein powder from chocolate protein powder, and have that and feel good and like, okay, I ate something sweet. But eating actually uh, just junk food, it's good at taste for 1 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes while you eat it. Then you feel shit for your whole day and for your whole life, which is not a really good trade-off. You can have some, but find your balance, I would say. Thinking that after your cut is over, your diet is over. The diet is over when you are leaner than before and your performance metrics are all good. You are here, you are going through a cut, you do a reverse diet, and then right now you are leaner than before, you look better, probably you are healthier depending on your starting point, and you feel normal. You don't feel like, oh, I want to eat 1,000 chicken McNuggets or whatever. That's when your diet is actually over. Thinking that, why do you need to be lean when you can enjoy food? I've heard this so many times from the people in the gym, my parents, everyone. that has been going through a diet. Cutting, it's temporary. Realistically speaking, most of your life will be spent in maintenance calories if you diet correctly. The temporary sacrifice, it's a long-term investment. I will do it on my own and experiment and document this experiment where I'm going to get leaner and leaner and leaner and leaner and leaner and try to maintain. Maybe I will do a bulk, a very small surplus in the future, but I am actually curious if I can get to 4% body fat, like shredded to the bone, and I can feel normal. If I can do that, you can do it too. Most likely, because I'm not a specimen. I'm not a like a rare specimen of a human being. I'm a normal human being, and that's the thing. Maybe you want to just stay at 12% or 10% or whatever percent you want to stay. You went from a body fat level and you just go down and then you maintain there. Now, if you think bulking is good to build muscle, you can experiment yourself. You can check your blood or whatever, and if you find it good, staying at maintenance it's worse for you than staying in a surplus for building muscle. You can do your own thing, but again, for most people that don't care to be the best bodybuilders in the world, just getting leaner and maintaining there is probably your best idea and the easiest path, because you get lean once and you stay there. The same with money, you get rich once and you stay there. Tips: A. Eat foods that have low calories and bigger satiety, like lean meats, legumes, fruits. Some examples: potatoes, strawberries, watermelon, chicken breast, liver, low-fat yogurt, and you can add a lot of sweeteners in your foods and diet sodas. Now, at some point in your cut, if you do it very hard, or you just eat again junk food, I tried it once intentionally to see it, and it's way harder, and it's very easy to binge. I just ate like protein bars, chocolate, ice cream, and some meat, and I hit my macros. Like I was in a caloric deficit, but it was way harder, and the hunger and training performance were hitting me faster than if I was to do a normal diet with clean foods. So again, and I wanted to say about satiety. At some point, you can eat watermelon, you can eat potatoes, you can drink 10 liters of water per day like I do, but at some point you are going to be so hungry in your diet that anything will not help. Just GLP-1s, so Reta, Tirzepatide, Ozempic. Caffeine can suppress appetite enough to keep you going, not enough to impair your sleep. So you should not take 500, 600, 800 milligrams of caffeine before you sleep, or even 12 hours if it affects your sleep. I tried it. 400 milligrams of caffeine increased a little bit my performance, but my sleep is damaged. I can do 200, 250, 10, 12 hours before I sleep, and that's okay. But 400 is too much for me. You can experiment yourself. Eat 0.5 to 1 gram of carbs pre-workout. Then the rest post-workout and before sleep. So a tip that I will give you, if you are, for example, let's say 70 kilograms and you are decently lean, you can eat 70 grams of carbs pre-workout, and like 1 hour before, 1.5 hours before, something like that. And before you go to the gym, you can eat 30 minutes like a fruit, 20-30 grams, so your blood sugar stays a little bit elevated, so you don't feel weak in the gym, so you can train hard. And by the way, from what I know, 1 gram of carb per not this, sorry. Your body can absorb only 1 gram of carbs per minute. So if you eat 60 grams of carbs, that's 60 minutes. Now, probably if you are enhanced, that you have a bigger capacity to do that, but again, it's simple. So if you train 1 hour, you eat something before an hour you go to the gym, you just eat 60 grams or close to it. Post-workout. If you have some food, you can eat post-workout, but majority of your food, if you struggle with sleep, you can eat majority of your carbs before sleep and some of them before training. So you eat carbs before training so you can have a good gym performance, and you eat carbs before sleep so you can sleep good. If you don't have problems before sleeping, you can just eat protein and fat, or just protein. And after workout, usually it's all carbs is good. I can say why they are good, why they're not, but you can eat some. Just eat 60, 70 grams depending on how many carbs do you have available throughout the day. Eat enough sodium before the gym and throughout the day. No sodium, lower energy, lightheadedness, lower hydration, thus lower training performance, thus more muscle loss. You have to stay hydrated. There are four main electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. These are the four electrolytes. Now you get calcium from dairy like milk, yogurt. You get magnesium. I get mostly from supplementation. You can get them from bananas, oats, and things like that, but you can get 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium through supplementation. Now potassium and sodium. Sodium you get from food, like food that you just buy and has salt in it, or salt. And potassium from bananas, potatoes, fruits, lean meats, dairy, but most of them from potatoes and bananas. Now, I didn't care about electrolytes before, but when I actually had some good electrolytes, like when I was properly hydrated, my gym performance is different. My energy is higher, my joints feel good. So you should really learn about this stuff. A quick rule of thumb: you can have a ratio of potassium to sodium from 1 to 1 to 3 to 1. The normal guidelines for people are 2000 calories, 5 grams of salt per day, so that is 1250 milligrams of sodium, which is very low. Like, that's good if you just are a couch potato. Most people that train can eat, in my opinion, 10 to 15 grams of salt, depending on how much do you sweat. If you sweat more, you need more salt. Now, and potassium, of course, eat enough potassium so you don't have water retention, which in my case I need a 3 to 1 ratio in favor, or even 4 or 5 to 1 ratio in favor of potassium to sodium. So if I eat 4000 milligrams of sodium or 10 grams of salt, I need 12 to 18 milligrams, 18,000 milligrams of potassium, which is pretty insane. But I'm not a normal human being, let's put it that way. I'm on a special supplements. And you don't get enough sodium when, of course, you have the side effects that I listed here, but you're going to have a lot of cramping. And because I drink a lot of water, I have to eat a lot of salt, and because I need to eat a lot of salt, I need to intake a lot of potassium. If I take some sodium before the gym, I train okay, but if I don't eat it after that, I'm just going to have cramps all day. So if I move, my chest is going to cramp, my bicep, my triceps, my quads, my everything, and it's annoying, and it could lead to injuries. And I didn't know why I was getting small injuries, but it was because I wasn't properly hydrated. Even right now I cramp a little bit, but I don't like to eat so much sodium. I feel okay if I eat a lot of sodium, because I hate eating that much potassium. Of course, I get it through supplementation because I don't eat a lot of food. So it's easier just to put like some powder, and powder is cheap, like potassium powder. 1 kilogram, like 1 kilogram of potassium, which is for every gram of potassium, it's 524 milligrams of potassium, and I need 18,000, for example, and I have 1 kilogram, is like $5 from where I get it from, and it's very cheap, and I could get in a bag of like 25 kilos. Oh, I'm just going away from the subject. Get your get your macro and micronutrients in. If you can't take supplements, health is. If you can take enough from your diet, take them from supplements. Health is numero uno. I don't care if you are natty, if you are enhanced, if you do anything. I want you to be healthy. Get your micronutrients in. At least stay hydrated. Take your D3 with K2, your magnesium. You can take zinc. Eat like vitamin A from liver. B, have like you can vitamin C it's again amazing and very cheap if you buy it in powder form. Stay healthy. and of course the blood work. All the magic fat burners are pretty much useless or reward. I don't know why I said that shit. If you create a bigger calorie deficit, so basically, I don't even have to read all of this because I wrote it. All the magic fat burners and like Yohim band, caffeine, and take this and take that are mostly useless. The only thing that you need to do to lose fat is to be in a caloric deficit. Now, if you cut more calories, if you add more cardio, if you make somehow that you burn more calories, for example, you can use Clen, and you don't have to, but you can use Clen to increase your heart rate so you burn more calories. You can add GLP so your appetite is lower, so you don't eat as much food, so you can maintain a deficit for longer and easier. You can add performance enhancing drugs, which in not inferior in practice, they are going to increase your maintenance calories and are going, if you eat the same amount of calories, you are going to be in a bigger deficit. But, and this is I have to read, but your calorie maintenance is relative because a guy cutting at 5,000 calories might be starving way more than a woman at 1,100 calories because he may be in like the 2,000 calorie deficit and this woman may be in just only a 500 calorie deficit. That's why majority of women who don't move a lot and are like 40-50 kilos and are short, they don't have a big appetite because they are small. But a guy who is 140 kilos bodybuilder, he can eat a lot because he needs a lot of food to maintain. Otherwise, he will die. And this is the lecture. Now, before I close this lecture, I want to say that I will improve the quality, but I hope my audio quality is good, that I didn't rant for a lot and you got a lot of information, applicable information from my video. And my pretty much what I want with this kind of video is you watch it, you learn, and you can apply so you can lose fat. I don't care about, of course, if I make the video better, if I have a better camera, if I have a better mic, if I have a better background, more people are going to watch it. It's going to be good for me and for the people that are watching because I can have more people. But for now, this is majority of the things that I can do, and I hope at least the information and the audio was good. Even if my English is not perfect, even if I went on a rant a little bit, I think it will help after I say something to give you an example. And of course, this is pretty raw because, for example, I wrote some things like here and I said, okay, fuck them, I'm just going to explain to you how I will explain to a friend. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And not many people watch my channel, but when you watch it, if you have any questions about the gym, training, health, and nutrition, I will make videos about it because besides money and things like that, which I don't earn anything right now, this is one of the things that I actually enjoy. So it will be a pleasure to earn a living from something that I actually enjoy. Okay, I'm selfish, I talk too much. Bye.